Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dan Chat, the Killeen Daily Herald. Today I have the Sergeant of the Killeen Police Department, the first ever recipient of the Community Service Hero Award presented by the Greater Killeen Chamber of Commerce, and the founder of the homeless outreach team, Kyle Moore. Or how you doing today, Officer Moore?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good, sir.
Appreciate you guys having me. This is actually pretty nice. I've never been in here as long as I've been in Killeen. That's actually cool. I didn't realize it was this cool.
Yes, sir. And because you talk about some of those things that you saw in the community of Killeen that really made you want to act on and really focus on those efforts to try to make things better or create some resource.
I've always had the desire to help people. That's kind of why I went into teaching and coaching prior to me becoming a police officer. I always liked education, number one, and then I always liked that ability to give back. And then obviously being a police officer, it gave me an opportunity to not only bridge a gap between the community and law enforcement, but to give back to folks. It felt good working in the neighborhood that I grew up in, like driving around in the southwest side of Killeen, Willow, and then turn around and see my mom, my dad, I got my aunts, I got my neighbors, Mr. Griffin, all these individuals that I knew growing up as a kid, and seeing them now actually being a police officer to try to keep the streets and the neighborhood safe was actually pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Right. And can you tell us a little bit about the homeless outreach team?
Yeah. So is what we do now, or what it was like when I first
origins.
So I will say this: in 2017, Chief Kimball came, and him along with Commander Davis. They were discussing, hey, how can we make Killeen better? We had a lot of sizable homeless population, and so they put out a notice to say, hey, those who are interested in being part of the homeless outreach team, go ahead and put your letter of recommendation or your letter of interest in. So I submitted my memo, and I literally had no idea so I was doing some research. Okay, see what they're doing in Houston. Oh, Lubbock, seeing what they're doing up in Lubbock. And then I was like, how can we do this here in Killeen? I would like to think that my bubbly personality helped me get selected, but once I got selected, I thought it was going to be, all right, here you go, Kyle, this is how you do it. Nah, it was literally, all right, go off in the world and do great things, right? Figure it out, basically. They didn't say that, but they did say that. Got that opportunity, and I will say this, it was ups and downs. It was a lot of wins and losses. Wins being helping people get off the streets, losses being people just don't want to help themselves type of deal. But what we were doing in 2018 to what we're doing today in 2025, it's like night and day. We have a social worker. Well, when 2018, it was just me. Then I was able to get a college intern, right? Kids that are in social work coming and interning with the homeless outreach team. And then it was like, so it went from me, and then had a couple of interns. Then it grew to now having 2 officers, a supervisor, and an LMSW, and 2 college interns. So that's just the homeless outreach part. Then you have our community engagement unit, which was like a splinter off of the homeless outreach, taking over some of the responsibilities I was doing as a homeless outreach team. So it was cool, but I can't take the full credit for the community engagement unit. That was at the time Sergeant Angela Matthews. She's now a chief out in Pilot Point, Texas. Me and her, we sat together, and the chief, and we put our heads together and helped make what CEU what it is today, which is homeless outreach, our mental health co-responder program, and then our community engagement side of it as well.
You know, I even had the opportunity to see a little bit of the day-to-day that y'all do.
Good.
You know, I went out with Officer Lawrence.
Okay, good.
He showed me around to some of the homeless camps that are out there, how y'all connect with some unhoused residents and try to get them the right resources, get them to the right places, and help them with their situation. And I think you had told me best in our last conversation, there's the 2 separate things with the 2 E's. It's empowering and it's enabling.
Power of the E's.
Sir.
Yeah, empowering and enabling. It's a very fine line, and sometimes people get caught up thinking that they're empowering somebody, and when in actuality they're just enabling behavior to continue to stay what they're doing. One of the biggest examples of that is when you see a individual on the street and you got $20 and you roll up, it's like, man, I'm gonna bless that guy today. I don't want to ever block anybody's blessing, right? I don't want to stereotype every person that's on the street. However, you take that $20, he or she may go get something to eat. They may use it to go get them a couple dollars so they can get a hotel room. But they also may use it to get drunk. They may use it to get high. But you take that same $20 and you invest that in the homeless outreach team. We can use that $20 to go get a birth certificate, go get a Texas ID, to put that towards getting maybe some slip-resistant shoes because we helped them get a job. It's just being able to not just feed individuals, but teach our individuals how to feed themselves, if that makes sense. So if you want to help themselves be better. So that's why I always look at that power of the two E's, because it's real fine line between empowering and enabling. At least that's just what my experience has been.
Sir, and ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about the trash, we haven't had a chance to see it, but y'all will see it in the next article coming up. But we're not talking about few cans and bottles here and there. We're talking about this whole table, just littered with trash. So it can be a lot, and HOT, they're able to provide that resource, even give them a chance to get out of their situation. But just like Officer Moore mentioned, it's all about empowering. They're teaching them how to take care of everything, so when they do get the right situation, they know how to take care of themselves because they already had that lecture, for lack of better words.
Yeah, we try not to be that position because sometimes these people are older than us. You know, it's like we want to respect our elders, but again, it does come off as a lecture sometimes. But we do it with our hearts open, if that makes sense, because everybody in my unit has a desire to help people. It's just having everybody understand that's the trick, if that makes sense. So, but it's been we've had some good successes. So I wish we were able to broadcast the successes that we've had rather than always seeing necessarily the negative, whatever. But I will say that Killeen does one heck of a job of, if we identify somebody who's willing to help, who's ready to make that change, we have a process in place that can help them get off the street without question, no matter what situation they're in. No identification, no documents. We can take you from that to having documents to having an apartment that you can call your own. Some people it works faster, but we have a process that works. And some people choose. Now, some people choose to do that. And that's what we hope to. And it doesn't always happen from the first meet, right? We can hey, somebody call us and say, hey, we have a homeless camp over here, da-da-da-da. All right, we'll send my guys out there. Sometimes I ride out because I don't want to be in the office all the time. So I'll go out and we'll talk to them. And we've never met them, and they may not want to have anything to do with us. Okay, that's fine. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to threaten you or anything like that. When you guys are ready, if you're in a place where it's not causing an issue, when you're ready, we're here. That being said, if you have that same individuals that are in a area where they cannot be, we're not just, hey, you got to be out of here. Hey, look, this is what we would like to do. We would like to work with you and whoever where you're at, if you're willing to help yourself get out of this situation. Now, if you blow us off, now we have to be the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's that give and take. So, but yeah.
Yes, sir. And can you talk about some of the successes? I know you had spoke to me one time about someone who came by and visited y'all, and he had a vehicle, had a great job, he had built himself up.
Yeah. So I think when you came that time, we had that guy that reached out that happened to come up there. Has a job. I don't want to say where he works at, but because sometimes people don't want to know, But he has a good paying job now, that where he was able to house him in one of the apartments that are downtown in an affordable affordable rent. We have some landlords and some property owners that are willing to work with us, and they know about the work that we do. But man, sometimes it feels good when you're able to get on your feet or play a small role in somebody catching a touchdown. And using that analogy, it's like it feels good, right? You need those wins for the losses that you get. And the losses are, man, that guy say he's going to come over here. We come, we start the paperwork, we have good interaction, and then because of some unforeseen issue or sometimes seen issues, we don't talk to that person for another month, right? Because they disappeared. Because sometimes when you're dealing with the homeless population, and I don't want to stereotype every homeless person because not everybody is that way, but you have individuals dealing with different vices, drinking, drugs, mental health. That's why our co-responder program, I think, is as successful as it is, because we have access to those mental health resources as well, and rehab if need be. But sometimes it takes different pathways for different folks, right? They can need the exact same thing, but this person over here is dealing with addiction. This person over here has mental health issues, right? So they're going to totally different locations. This program here might be a couple months. This may be, I'll just need to get you caught back up on your medication, right? Now you need to move to the next step. Oh, do you have a job? You have income? We've had success with reaching out to people and getting their Social Security cut back on. Sometimes it's as simple as filling out your paperwork and submitting it. You didn't do your research. I mean, sometimes it's a very individualistic process. So if you came in, we're going to work with you. What worked for this individual here may not be what's going on. So what do you need? And then we're documenting and trying to work on what you need. And I think that's why it's been I think that's why we've been able to get as much notoriety, not from the community, but from within the population. Like, best salesperson is the people that we've helped. You know, you see somebody who got an apartment. How'd you get this apartment? Oh man, sorry, more and them hooked me up with, oh buddy, I got a job. Da, 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 da. Hey, sorry, more. You can help me out with. Hey, come see us at the office. See Ron. It starts from there. Obviously, I can tell you yes, I can tell you no, but everything starts at the office. Come see us, and then we'll go from there.
But you explained it well, though. It's all about the involvement with the community, because it's not like HOT is coming out one time. That's it. It's a consistent visit, consistently visiting, building those relationships, because they're not just going to say yes automatically. They got to trust you first, and they clearly trust you, because I saw with Officer Lawrence, going back to him again, when they spoke to him, he was calling them by their first name. They called him by his first name. They were explaining it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm trying right now. He's like, all right, give me a call. We'll get something worked out. Or he called an officer immediately. They were right there on the scene, helping out.
So I can say we have a good process. For those of you guys who are in Killeen, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. If they have our numbers, obviously you can reach out to us as well. But I challenge you guys to get out and see, say the real, quote unquote, the real. Don't get past what you see on social media. Get past what you see sometimes in front of your own window, right? Because sometimes there's so much more under the surface, right? So I appreciate you.
Sir.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for your time, Sergeant Moore.
All right, man.
This is very informative. And for those watching, if you want to keep up with this, we have this story that came out last week, Sunday, and we have another one coming out Sunday. Thank y'all for your time. Good night.